خیلی شاد شده، اجتماعی تر شده. بعد خب وقتی با چند تا بچه یه جا باشه خیلی براش بهتره، اجتماعی میشه. وقتی میبرمش خونه ازش میپرسم که امروز چی بازی‌ها کردی، چی یاد گرفتی، مثلا ازش میپرسم اسم دوستات چیه، کدوم معلم تو بیشتر دوست داری، همه اینا رو میگه خیلی خوش گذشت، بازی کردم، مثلا با این دوستام این بازی کردم، مثلا کتاب خوندیم.
Elle part là-bas avec des amis, elle rencontre d'autres friends, donc elle joue, elle fait ses dessins. Elle se sent à l'aise quand elle est là-bas, ouais. Elle aime souvent aller là-bas. Si elle se réveille le matin, elle te pose des questions, on va pas aller, c'est comme ça avec elle.
Socialization is a really big part of development at this age. I've already seen a really big change in children who are not used to being around other children at all or being in new spaces. It's really important to make sure that children have a safe space to learn and to play and also to take some of the pressure off.
من خیلی از شما تشکرم از گروهتون که همچین مثلا امکانات رو فراهم می‌کنیم برای مهاجرا که ما بچه‌هامون رو بیاریم. خیلی خوبه، مثلا یه خورده از تنش‌های زندگی ما کم میشه وقتی بچه‌ها رو میاریم اینجا. خیلی خوبه، بچه‌ها روحیه‌شون خیلی خوب میشه.
And over to you, Lida.
So hello again. Watching this video, it brings tears in my eyes because I see all those familiar faces, and with some of those people we've been through together a lot, and we still keep in touch, which is amazing. So again, my name is Lida. I am the founder of the Athens Comics Library. Today I have a dual role here as part of the KnowHow Labs, but also I'm gonna fill in Alba's place, and I'm gonna talk about Batyna Hub Athens, and more specifically about care, not as an abstract value, but as a daily practice, a leadership approach, and a structuring principle for how we work with people and communities. So Batyna was a 3-year project funded by Refugee Trauma Initiative, which is now Amna Healing, and Choose Love. And it means our home in Arabic, and was conceived as a response to a very concrete reality. People who had experienced displacement, trauma, uncertainty, and systemic exclusion were being asked to integrate into systems that were not designed with their needs, rights, or dignity in mind. So from the beginning, Batyna was not designed as a service hub in the traditional sense. It was designed as a care ecosystem. And in practice, it was an unofficial daycare for preschool refugee children and their caregivers. And it grew to become a community of peers, a community of people who shared the same values and aimed for the same scope, which was for all of us to find our voice and to find our place in a complex and sometimes really challenging environment. So at Batyna Hub, care was not an add-on or a soft concept. It was foundational. Care informed how the space was designed, how the programs were structured, how decisions were made, and how relationships with staff, partners, and community members were built. We worked with the understanding that many of the people coming through Batyna were navigating layers of vulnerability, legal uncertainty, trauma, cultural displacement, economic challenges, and often invisibility. Care, therefore, meant for us and transformed on slowing down, listening, and acknowledging the full human experience and not only the beneficiary profile. One of the most important lessons from Batyna was that care-based leadership is not about control; it's about trust. And you wrote trust also in your words in the Mentimeter. So traditional project leadership often prioritizes efficiency, outputs, and timelines. But in Batyna, leadership had to prioritize psychological safety, emotional sustainability, and collective responsibility. And that meant making space for uncertainty, accepting that not everything can be linear or predictable, and recognizing that leadership sometimes means holding space rather than directing action. So this approach required us to constantly ask who is being heard, who is carrying invisible emotional labor, what pressures are we reproducing even unintentionally. And that was a really interesting but also challenging thing for our team, because we were not social workers, we are not people with psychological studies background, but we had to adapt in this environment, and we had to listen carefully the needs of our communities. So we all got trained into trauma sensitive and identity informed practices in order to be able to hold that space, to hold that safe space, and also to understand how we can navigate through the different layers of traumas that our communities were facing. Care at Batyna started internally within the team, and I will share that when Dina joined the Batyna team, she had just her twin boys. So she was looking for an opportunity to re-enter the job and the professional path. So we tried to. I had also gave birth to my second baby at this time. So we tried to create a careful space for Dina and myself, who were struggling with balancing a new baby, family duties, and also the re-entering to the market. So we applied more flexible working hours. We applied remote work. Back then, that remote wasn't a trend. We also applied a more slower way of doing things. And that example was also an example for some of the caregivers that are attending our Batyna Hub sessions. So some of the mothers who were coming there with their 2, 3, 4, or even 5 children, they started understand that they can also ask and work towards those slower ways of working, slower ways of balancing their everyday lives responsibilities with self-care. So apart from that, our team worked daily with stories of displacement, trauma, and loss. So without care for the team, burnout would have been inevitable. So care towards the team included creating a culture where emotional responses were legitimate and not weaknesses, encouraging reflection and peer support. We had once per week peer support for all the team, allowing flexibility when personal or emotional limits were reached, and recognizing also that lived experience, especially among team members with refugee or migrant backgrounds, was expertise and not a burden. So leadership here meant protecting the team from the pressure to constantly perform resiliency, and care meant allowing people to be human, because sometimes we forget about it, and more especially in working environments, we tend to see ourselves as working machines that have to achieve certain KPIs and certain goals, but we forget that we are humans as well. Care for us was also ethical, and we constantly navigated questions such as, how do we avoid extractive storytelling? How do we ensure participation is not performative? How do we avoid positioning people only through their trauma? So care required ethical reflexivity, a continuous requesting of power dynamics, representation, and intention. For example, not every story needed to be shared publicly. We had people there who trusted us with very intimate thoughts, and we should respect that and keep those stories for us. Not every success needed to be showcased. Sometimes care meant choosing privacy over visibility. And of course, Batyna was a community project, and it grew to become also a community-led project. So care towards the community was expressed through co-creation and not top-down design. And the programs were shaped through dialogue, feedback loops, and of course, continuous adaptation, respecting people's space, recognizing different forms of participation, and of course, valuing informal relational outcomes and as much as formal results. So community members were not treated as beneficiaries, but as active agents with knowledge, skills, and aspirations. And one of the achievements that we are mostly proud through the Batyna Hub is that we managed to bring in to the team people from the community, put them on the payroll, trained them with the same trainings that we had, and give them the opportunity to become co-facilitators of our sessions. And when they had to relocate, they took this expertise with them, and it helped them to their professional and personal development. So the concept of home was central to Batyna. And for people who had lost their actual homes, care meant creating emotional safety, a sense of belonging, and continuity. And that was reflected in small but meaningful practices like shared meals, informal conversation, cultural exchange, and of course, everyday rituals that foster trust. So care was present not only in programs, but in how people were welcomed, how they were remembered, and how relationships were sustained over time. And I will finish by saying that care is not neutral. In context of displacement mostly and inequality, care is also political. It challenges systems that prioritize speed, productivity, and control over dignity and well-being. So Batyna demonstrated that care can coexist with professionalism, can produce meaningful impact, and care can be a form of resistance against dehumanizing structures. If there is one core lesson from Batyna Hub, is that care is not the opposite of leadership. Care is leadership, leadership that listens before it acts, protects before it demands, and empowers rather than manages. So in a world facing overlapping crises, migration, climate change, social fragmentation, care-based leadership is not optional. It's not optional, it's necessary. Batyna Hub was never just a space. It was, and it remains in our hearts and in the communities that we have created, a practice of care, a reminder that when we place care at center, teams become more resilient, communities feel seen and respected, and leadership becomes more human, ethical, and effective. Thank you very much.